Hey everyone, it's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Copyright disclaimer. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, I am within my full legal right to share these following clips via video and audio. The following creators allow reshare, redistribution, and download of their content, and as always, I credit in the description box down below. Fair use, public domain, TikTok third-party license, and TikTok Live automatic third-party license for the use of commentary, reaction, teaching, news reporting, research, comment, and criticism. I am legally within my basic human, civil, and constitutional right to share under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, to share my expressions, views, thoughts, opinions, feelings, and critiques. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees my freedom of religion, freedom to exercise of, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, free assembly, and the right to petition the government and air my grievances. The First Amendment does not cover lies that amount to defamation, slander, libel, harassment, stalking, cyberstalking, bullying, cyberbullying, threats, or any other verbal crimes.
And Christy, no offense, the one biggest thing that I have with this is that she does not identify herself as a murderer when she was the one who put the weapon in Nick's hand. And I say that respectfully.
It's not that she doesn't want to. She knows. She knows what she did, but she don't want to have to get it thrown in her face every day.
Why is she on TV?
She knows what she did, but she can't take accountability for it, Christy. That makes no sense. She's never taken it.
I mean, she's taken a lot of accountability for things she did.
She has not taken accountability when it comes to Nick. You cannot say that she has not taken
accountability in me about a lot of things, and that's between her and I. And when she's going to be ready to share it, she will. I'm not going to.
The best thing for Aurora and the best thing for Gypsy right now would be for Gypsy to step away from everything, unsign whatever contract she signed, her job, live a quiet life, get to know herself. Get to know herself.
Who knows everybody? Like, we all live and learn every day, like I said.
I feel
she's evolving.
Instead of being skeptical about it while you're learning, why not just step away while you're growing?
At the end of the day, if she screws up, she has to take accountability. She has to eat crow, whatever.
Right, but again, Christy, you just said the word. She has to take accountability, and she has never. But hold on, wait.
But I'm not talking about like the Nick thing. I'm talking about
Christy, this whole thing is because of Nick. She used and abused an autistic man. She needs to take accountability for it, and I promise you,
to the world, she doesn't need to take accountability.
Christy, if she takes accountability for it and shows the world that she is sorry, everybody would look at this differently.
Right,
and I'm telling you that.
A little bit of grace, and I'm not saying that y'all don't, because I don't know. I don't watch y'all channels. I don't really, I don't really know y'all personally on a personal level. So,
I mean, I know you know me from what Dinah has told you, but again, like I said,
but she's never said anything bad about you to me. Trust that.
No, I won't. But
it's not that. But when she's ready, she'll do it.
This was the best part of this entire live. I did miss a small section in the beginning where they supposedly talk about Ken signing an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And Christy also admits that her and Rod gave all of their money that they made from being on the interviews and TV show to Gypsy. Do you all remember some of these posts that Christy Blanchard had made on Facebook, including one in the 5 days that Gypsy was quote unquote missing? She even says to Dee Dee that she loves her. She misses her. She hopes she and Gypsy are okay, yada, yada, yada. Contact them as soon as possible. This one, she's saying, everybody wants to know if Rod and I knew that she was scamming people or if Gypsy was that ill. Gypsy was a sick child since birth. Over the years, we heard stories of some of the things that Dee had done to make her more sick. Then why did you or Rod not drive all the way up to Missouri and do something about it? It's so easy for everybody to victimize and demonize the victim of a heinous crime. But the truth is, it does not lessen the accountability, the responsibility, and the consequence of Gypsy Rose Blanchard committing the crime herself. And it certainly doesn't lessen Rodney James Blanchard Jr.'s responsibility. As much as everybody wants to say that Dee Dee Blanchard was an abuser, you got to remember that Rod Blanchard was a neglector. But first of all, Ken Urker posted this. Good night kisses from Parker. Boy, I don't know about you, but I would get my face the F away from that dog because he looks like he does not like it. And I don't know about you, but you tell me, does Ken look like he got the crazy eyes? His eyes look crazier than Gypsy's eyes look crazy. Ooh, by the way, this is her new post. Yeah, I ordered a 10-piece McNugget, a fry, and a Coke, and I ate it all. But I walked 5 blocks to get it. Hashtag girl math. You mean you needed to walk 5 miles to burn off all those calories? Not no 5 blocks. Oh, this is so good. Hold tight. Gypsy posted this. I didn't write this, but I am sharing because this resonates with me. I'll be the villain. I once believed I needed to tell my side of the story. I didn't want to be seen as the bad guy in any story because I knew my intentions and my feelings were pure. You know what they say? The long road to hell is paved in good intentions. I couldn't stand for someone painting me in a bad light when I did everything I could to love, understand, and show up the best way I knew how. I wanted the truth to be known, for my heart to be seen as it truly was, not twisted by someone else's perception of me. I thought maybe if I told my side of the story, the narrative would change. That's a funny thing about narratives is the truth is the truth is the truth, and narratives remain as they actually happened. It's not a story that you can rewrite just at your heart's pleasure and whatever is convenient for you. But it didn't. People will always choose to believe what they want to believe. Some have decided on their storyline, and some have planned that belief in their mind until they believe it to be true. That's really funny. That's like a sociopath, a narcissist, a borderline. You know, one of those people constantly making up lies, and pathological liars do it all the time, and they actually believe their lie. And I've talked about this many times. I've actually showed it. It's very psychological to have a little bit of truth in the lie. Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies. Sherry Papini, same exact thing. No different with Gypsy Rose. The truth is that I didn't need to prove myself to anyone. I didn't need to search for validation to prove my heart intentions or feelings. Some truths don't need to be proven to be real. Some stories don't need an audience to validate the truth. I decided to be the villain in their story. I'm satisfied with letting them live with that narrative that helps them heal. If someone couldn't see, feel, or understand me, that was enough clarity for me to see myself out of the story. I know my feelings were valid. I know real peace comes from understanding that not every story needs defending. Sometimes the truth is enough. And yet, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is not a truth teller. The truth evades her every single day. She rewrites and retells it. She has told a false narrative and victim story that never even happened over and over and over again to make herself look like a better person for having committed first-degree premeditated murder on her own mama, putting an autistic young man with mental disability behind bars for the rest of his life for her crime. His mama taking her own life. But a lie detector test? Never. Just over 27 different documentaries, TV shows, reality shows, interviews, podcasts, books, speaking engagement, social media platforms. Yeah, all of that. The Gypsy Rose Blanchard agenda has been in full force from the moment she was arrested. The audacity to try and gaslight society once more, posting this as if anybody else that read all of the forensic evidence, the circumstantial evidence, the FOIA, the expert testimony, the witness testimony, that they are all wrong for coming to the same conclusion that the Greene County Sheriff's Department did. She's never going to come to a place where she apologizes and asks for forgiveness and admits that it was her doing. Instead, she's more worried about what's cool and trending on the internet. But that's all right. That's the price she pays for wanting to sell her story and sell her narrative. That's a price she's going to have to come to terms with until she's ready to actually tell the truth. How much you want to bet she told that parole board when she got approved parole a bunch of BS? Just to get out and call Nick an autistic little buttercup, a psychopath, a piece of shit, and Voldemort.
Like Team Bree, I'm not whatever, but
No, I know.
asked Bree to join that live so that they could squash their shit. And so Bree went into that live thinking that that's exactly what they were going to do. And then Keesh had everybody fucking attacking her. And then when I tried to join to defend Bree, she wouldn't let me or Skip up to defend Bree. That's
Yeah,
not
but it's like the
right. You're gonna
100th
have
time that
open
Bree
box
has
and
gone
open
on
your box.
live. And with them knowing what they're going to do. Bree knows what they're going to do. It's almost like she does it for attention. And then she says, feel bad for me, feel bad for me, feel bad for me. What about when you guys said I'm going to unalive myself just to blame Gypsy? What about my mental health? What about the 9 phone calls I received on Sunday night in my own home while I'm on live singing karaoke? Not even talking about this.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't know anything about all of that, but that's what I'm saying. Like this whole bullying thing online, it's got to
You can't
stop.
say that.
It's not good for people's mental health.
I got rid
Like,
of
it's
him.
not
Sorry.
good.
What the hell is wrong with people? Why would you get up in somebody's fucking chat and say that, bruh?
You can't say that.
We got rid of them. We got rid of them.
Well,
We
good
don't,
for
we
them,
we don't play
The
that
I'm not
one.
saying like
Wow.
anything negative. All I'm saying is that this bullying is gonna cause somebody
No,
to go
honey, it
over
was
the
someone
edge
in the
one day,
comments.
and then everybody can sit back and be like, and I'm not just talking about Brie, I'm talking in general, this entire
Anybody.
app.
The AIs.
This entire app, this whole going back and forth, fucking picking sides, whatever. I will call out what I think is right, whether you're orange, blue, green. I don't care what team you're for. Like, I'm gonna call out what I see. It's the same thing if I were to hear people talking shit about you. You know, I just met you, but I would defend you to a whole because that's what I do.
Her children had a half brother they didn't know about, talking about frozen sperm and stuff. Why would you be talking about Becca Scoops? Why would you even be talking about something
because
like
she
that?
said it's not true.
No, that's not the reason. You see, y'all don't know everything. That's not the reason it got brought up. That's not the reason. Actually, I'm not the one who first
Why are
said
you talking
that.
about people's kids, Bree?
No, the
Why?
fuck. Y'all are such full of shit. I swear to God, Morbid.
I heard the audio.
We heard it. Made a slur at him. This is what you wanted, Keesh. You got it. You got it.
This isn't what I wanted.
Are you this incapable of having an adult
Point blank
conversation,
period. Leave
Are you
me
this
the
incapable?
fuck alone. Point blank period. Leave me alone.
I do.
This is insane.
Okay, fine. We'll leave you alone.
Yeah, we'll see. Because you won't. You won't.
What do you want?
What
do you want? You're gonna have. You have to.
No, you're not. He's coming up here. He accuses me of something and can't even know. Fuck that. And then because I'm mad, I'm a human who's allowed to have emotions.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. I'm so sick of y'all using my fucking name to have these lives. It's fucking
I don't do
sick.
lives about you. I don't do lives about you.
I never said you, but you shouldn't have either. You're accusing me of shit that you can't prove.
I
Y'all
haven't
never can prove
accused.
shit.
I asked
Y'all
you
never
some
prove shit
questions,
about me.
and I also asked you some very valid questions that you
Wait,
completely
first one, let's get to
ignored
the
and
first one. You wanna
deflected and
accuse me of
screamed
something? You
and
gotta
didn't
fucking
listen
prove it.
to.
Just admit
Are you
that you
capable
can't
of having
prove it,
an
and we
adult
can move on to the
conversation?
next thing.
Is this your, like, seriously, are you capable of having an adult conversation?
Yes, yeah,
Because
but you know what I'm not capable of doing? Letting someone lie on me without proof. We can go to
how
the
can
next
you even
thing.
know if somebody's lying if you don't even allow them
As
to
soon
finish?
as you
can
can
do it right now.
prove
I'm going to talk over them. I'm going to talk over them while they're talking.
I don't get, because you
The
know
louder
what?
I am,
I'm
the
the
more
one being
right I am.
accused, not you, you dumb fuck. I'm the one being accused. So how about this? You admit that you don't have a single fucking other person to name, and then we can move on. I'll mute and we can move on.
Okay, sure. All right. I don't have another person's name.
Exactly. Okay.
Can
I'll
we
mute.
move
What's your
on
next
to why
question?
you were talking about Becca Scoop's children and saying that that somebody used frozen sperm and that her kids have a
Example.
I gotta see if we gotta pass it. No, you gotta go a little bit closer because I don't have enough swing room right here. Okay.
Yeah, you make sure you got, let me move this. You got a good.
Okay. Ready?
I got a round hand.
Ready?
I trust my wife. You don't have to swing that hard.
When I got it.
There you go. Good job.
I posted this on my community page because I was genuinely curious. I got a random message on TikTok that went to my spam folder in my message requests, and it said, "Hi, by any chance, do you have a copy of Bree's Live?" They meant live, not love. The other day from her making fun of my cancer. Now, despite and regardless what anybody says, thinks, or feels about Gypsy's friend Bree, I was curious if anybody knows what this is about, and nobody seems to have given me any clear answer. But until this is verified or corroborated, I would say do not falsely allegate, as a cancer survivor myself, that she did say something. Because if there's no proof of it, even though all of her lives are recorded, as of this very moment, I have not seen proof to verify or corroborate that this is true. And I'm not going to say who it is. The other person was named in a comment section, but that is not who this person who messaged me is. It's a different person. This person, and I was told another person, had their cancer made fun of by Bree. Gypsy's friend. But I'm going to reiterate over and over, I have not seen or heard proof of this. So as far as I know, this could be something that is just completely made up. Would I put it past any of them to do this? Recently? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to make a false allegation or pass on any information to somebody if I can't verify or corroborate it. Not that any of them would verify or corroborate the truth anyway, because I remember on Gypsy's baby shower, November 16th of 2024, I actually reached out to her to see if she would verify or corroborate a rumor going around, and she refused to do it. She blocked Little Miss Self-Proclaimed Rapunzel. Bree caused me to have a very, 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 very bad opinion of Gypsy. I'm also a cancer survivor, so hugs to you. I am so fucking happy and thrilled for you. Congratulations. Not many people know what it's like to be on this side of a cancer diagnosis, but I do. I just hit my 5-year remission of stage 2/stage 3 cervical cancer. I had 6 operations between 2018 and 2019. And on October 11th of 2019, I had a 12-hour operation cut open from hip to hip. I had a radical hysterectomy, total pelvic lymphadenectomy. I had part of my vagina removed. And then I had to go through 6 weeks of injections in the thigh 3 times a day. I had a catheter for 8 weeks. And then for 2 years post that surgery, I had to go through additional medications and cancer treatments. I'm fucking very, very lucky and blessed to be here. I'm sure you feel that way, because not everybody that has cancer survives it. And the prognosis rate is not very good for a lot of cancers. So I noticed that I struggle a lot physically, mentally, and emotionally, not just having all those organs taken away from me, but all of the pelvic lymph nodes being gone. The things, I've also had to have several bladder surgeries since then. I've had to have a transvaginal mid-urethral pelvic mesh sling done 3 years ago on Christmas. And I have had to have Botox injections into my bladder, and we're going to do it already, but I've been putting it off. A nerve stimulator in my spine. And so a lot of people don't talk about the residual effects of cancer, mentally, emotionally, physically, because a lot of people unfortunately don't survive it. So that's something that is just, I know I struggle a lot with even verbalizing it. It's only been in the last few months that I've been able to actually talk about it and open up about it more without being extremely angry and going through the grief process of even being diagnosed. And I just hit the 5-year remission mark. So I'm just speaking for myself though. It makes my heart, my mind, my soul, and the very core of who I am so extremely happy and thrilled to see somebody else survive cancer. So congratulations again, because that's fucking awesome. And that is something that should be celebrated. I feel like I don't celebrate myself enough like I should. And it's a constant reminder that life is precious. Our time is limited. I just turned 39, and I'm extremely blessed by God to be here, to see my 5 children grow up, and to still be an active part in my own life. It just doesn't look the way that I thought when I was younger that it was going to look. But I'm fucking badass, and it ain't taking me out. So I plan to live to be a very, very old, grumpy, great-great-grandmother. And God willing, I will make it. I just find life so beautiful, and it's funny to me because especially with social media and the digital age, people are so like anti-uniqueness and individually. I mean, I see my friends and people I talk to, and I see people on this app too, and I think, why in the hell do people go and have all this crazy extreme stuff done to their body just to look like some weird plastic silicone doll? I absolutely find aging beautiful. I find flaws beautiful. I find that uniqueness beautiful. That is what makes us so different, but that to me is what makes us attractive. I find people, even men, women, to just, when they embrace who they really are, that to be so refreshing, because I embrace who I am, and I always have. I'm very in tune with myself and my body. And I just love to see other people do that same thing. But I find that to be the most beautiful of all. And this, just having survived something so egregious, I know firsthand, it just does something to me. It just makes me extremely thrilled. So congratulations again on surviving your cancer and being here today. But I really want to talk to you about this, the first part. What was it that Bree did that caused you to not have a good opinion of Gypsy anymore? I'm genuinely curious. And for anybody else that is watching this video, I really want to know from you firsthand, would you ever forgive Gypsy Rose? Do you think she can ever come back from all the lies and inconsistencies she's told in her shows, in her interviews, in her interrogation on social media? Do you think that she, even if she tried and showed remorse and tried to change and tried to do better with her time here and her life, not just with her words, trying to make you convinced that she is, but if she actually showed us, everybody, that, and that she was starting to give back and she was doing good things with her large platform, and that negative attention and infamy that she has because solely of the crime that she committed and being a convicted felon, I just want to know, hypothetically, would you ever forgive her? Would you ever give her a place in social media and accept her? And if you could or ever would, what would that look like for you? Because I'm genuinely curious. They blame everybody else for why she doesn't advocate or bring awareness. And they say it's because y'all don't fucking let her. No, if Gypsy Rose was not on social media, she wouldn't know how many people negatively think of her or dislike her. She wouldn't be on there to read it, to see it, to know it. And she would just be living her daily life. So that's not an excuse. Plus, anybody who advocates, they're going to advocate no matter fucking what anyway. The same way, if somebody wants to lie, they're going to lie anyway. If somebody wants to go have sex with somebody, they're going to go have sex with somebody. There ain't going to be no stopping them. If you truly have the heart for advocacy, you're going to do it. Regardless, despite and regardless what anybody on some stupid little box has to say. Right? But I just genuinely wanted to ask that question. I really want people to answer me. I want you to drop your comments below, and I want you to open up this dialogue and this conversation, because I myself has sat here and thought about the possibilities of what would her team or should her team have done to not only revamp her image, but actually build her a reputation from the ground up. What could she do? Could she do anything that would make people forgive her or like her or support her and change their view on her? And what would that look like for you for that to happen? Is it just her showing remorse? Is it her admitting the lies and inconsistencies? Is it her apologizing for it? And or is it all of that in combination with her behavior needs to change, and we need to see some kind of action that proves there's some change there? I think I have some thoughts on that as far as my personal opinion, but I want to know everybody else's, because I genuinely don't dislike Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and she is a woman who is carrying an innocent child. No matter what anybody thinks about her, as far as I know, nothing has been done to actively harm her or hurt her. There might have been a lot of negative words and really bad things surrounding her name, her case on the social sphere, but she's free to go to a dog park, she's free to go to restaurants, she's free to go to Universal, she's free to do all these things, so her life can't be threatened that horribly. But please, just answer this for me. And don't come after me with some fucking bullshit, okay? It's just a hypothetical question. What could Gypsy Rose Blanchard do to actually show people that she wants to change and that she's going to change and that she has any kind of remorse? And what would that look like for you to come to a place of forgiveness and to actually think that she wants to? I'm not saying is, I'm just saying hypothetically. The funniest part is her saying that she's not an advocate, yet listing herself as an advocate on her Linktree and her TikTok, and her friend defending that. Not to mention all of the interviews and podcasts she's done calling herself an advocate. Kim Kardashian, San Francisco State University, the Vile Files, her Linktree, her Facebook, her Instagram, her bio. But what's crazier than Rod and Christy giving her all of their money from them appearing on the TV show is this. Gypsy still grifting for gifts. Not letters of support, gifts. So Christy Blanchard has to sit there and sort through all of the crap with gloves on. How much you want to bet they throw all of that shit away and Gypsy just gets the money or the gifts? Yeah, Gypsy Rose Alcida Blanchard, the same girl who wrote a smut book for her daughter. But I have a few videos I want to share just for funsies, and if you don't on TikTok already follow Ashley Danielle 402 or her backup, I highly suggest you go do it. She's got all of the energy to do a whole bunch of videos that I already did last year. But her breakdowns are not only fast, they're easy to follow, and they're streamlined. So I think you will appreciate them just as much as I do. I also changed it up a little bit, so I really hope that you enjoy. Fair use disclaimer.
Remember Gypsy Rose's cousin Bobby? He was on her documentary. He gave this statement to a reporter right after Dee Dee was murdered. He said to the family, Gypsy was fine. He said Dee Dee had her in a wheelchair, but whenever Dee Dee wasn't around, she'd get on the trampoline, she'd jump, she'd push her cousins in her wheelchair. But when Dee Dee would come back around, she would collapse, play paralyzed. He hadn't seen Gypsy since she was about 7 or 8 years old. Y'all remember that FOIA report? Gypsy told Nick she had a surgery. In the surgery, she had a seizure and she was like 6. Woke up, was paralyzed, didn't know if it was going to be temporary. But when she got feeling back, she didn't tell her mama. Bobby co-signing Gypsy Rose's bullshit without even knowing it. He also said Gypsy was taking seizure medicine. It caused her teeth to fall out. Now, we know that's not true. Gypsy was not taking care of her teeth. She was drinking out of a bottle and using a sippy cup because her hands would get weak and she would drop drinks. That's what fucked up her teeth. Just like when a baby starts getting teeth and they fall asleep with milk in their teeth. What does it do? It rots that shit. Bobby also said he believed Dee Dee had Gypsy in glasses she didn't need. Bobby Petrie, be honest. What the fuck are you talking about? A blind person could see that Gypsy Rose needed fucking glasses and surgery, sir. Honestly, after Gypsy murdered Dee Dee, Bobby had a lot to say. He came out basically saying we confronted her about Gypsy's situation and she left. She was at the Ronald McDonald house before she ever went to Missouri, an hour away from y'all. If y'all really thought something was going on, why did you not step up? And Bobby was friends with Gypsy on her Snow Gypsy page. He claims, oh, I didn't know if Dee Dee did it. You couldn't tell by the things she was sharing, liking. Come on, Bobby. This is why nobody said anything, because they were getting houses and trips. Blanchards knew Gypsy could walk, just like Gypsy knew she could fucking walk. I'm sure there were people in on it, or at least not telling, hey, they're scamming and conning. Gosh damn Rod was like, Dee Dee said don't tell her she's 18, so I didn't tell her. I mean, that's weird shit, right? But hey, this is all alleged, entertainment purposes only, my opinion. And the rest, well, Bobby, you said that Gypsy Rose and her mom were a fucking dynamic duo. That's what I think. And it wasn't only Dee Dee who was accused of things like Munchausen. Gypsy was accused of malingering in her medical records. Doctor said that she was lying on her test. Her hearing test, she said she was not answering correctly on purpose. Same thing with the sensation test doctors did on her legs. Gypsy told doctors she had no feeling below the pelvic area. Doctors did the sensation test and she reacted to their touch. It was documented that, she was possibly malingering. Yes, the doctor did say that Dee Dee had possible Munchausen by proxy, or that there was some underlying etiology causing Gypsy's symptoms, which was true, her microdeletion. This is a message from Gypsy to her neighbor. After the murder, this message was leaked, but they cut it off before Gypsy tells her neighbor about her microdeletion. Gypsy tells Aaliyah that she has a microdeletion that is causing all her health issues, and then she says that I'm a fighter. This is right before she meets Nick. At the movies, by the way. Gypsy is also the one who told the doctors that the Botox was no longer working, so she was choking and drooling, and she couldn't swallow without choking. Gypsy told the doctors that, and that's when they removed some of her salivary glands. There was a study done on kids with factitious disorder imposed on themselves. Yeah, kids do this shit too, not just adults. Problem is, kids who do it to themselves a lot of time go undiagnosed. And he did this study on kids between the ages of 6 to 18. In the FOIA reports, it talks about how Gypsy told Nick when she was 6 years old, she had a surgery. During the surgery, she had a seizure. The seizure caused Gypsy to have paralysis in her legs. Gypsy tells Nick when she started getting feeling back in her legs, she didn't tell her mom for fear that her mom would not love her. Like I said, fucking dynamic duo, man. They were money motivated. This wasn't just about attention, sympathy. It was about money. It was about free trips. It was about meeting celebrities, having lifetime backstage passes to people's concerts anytime they went, front row seats in the movie theaters every time they went, flights, angel flights, constantly. This was going on way before they ever left Louisiana. So either Rod and Christy knew, because they did family visits regularly up until 2005 when Katrina hit. Gypsy's hair has been short since she was young. Even now, since being free, she goes shorter and shorter. Hell, she'll be here before knowing. So yeah, I think they were in on this shit together. And Gypsy and Dee Dee didn't like doctor hop either. One of Gypsy's doctors moved from Louisiana to Missouri and they started seeing him again. He saw Gypsy almost her whole fucking life. Yes, they did go to a lot of specialists up until the microdeletion was found, which was in 2011. And just so we're clear, the first case of this microdeletion she has wasn't even documented until 2008. There was no blueprint for Dee Dee to go off of. So yeah, I think they were the dynamic duo. Gassed up Gypsy's microdeletion for money. And now that Dee Dee's dead, Gypsy uses her mama's death for money. Yeah, that's how, yeah. This is just my opinion, girl. All alleged and entertainment purposes only. You know, the rest. Well, I got the shit from her case. That's what Gypsy Rose has done the whole time. She makes herself out to seem like this innocent, I don't know anything. I didn't have an education. I was isolated. I didn't know you could get long nails. She's not a fucking idiot. Not an idiot today, and she wasn't an idiot back in 2015. Nor was Gypsy isolated. She went out and about all the damn time. Everyone in fucking Springfield knew who they were. She was at VisionCon. She had a Star Wars thing she did. She went on more Disney trips than I've ever been on. She did fucking public speaking. She met the cast of Lord of the Rings, Miranda Lambert, and her husband. A $3,500 check for them, by the way. She was not isolated. She also had an education. She was homeschooled, and it's talked about in the damn Greene County police reports. A tutor went to her house. If you've seen her interrogation, you know she had a fucking education. Listen to her talk. I'm not talking about the squeaky voice. I'm talking about her work. She claims her mama was the one infantilizing her. Yet we see her do silly shit like this. I didn't know we could get long nails that weren't press on. Girl, stop. But it makes her look like, oh, look, she just didn't know. And that's the reaction she wants from people. She wants everything she got back then right now too. I've been saying she's running the same con, it's just a different angle, okay? She still acts childlike for money. Just in the story she tells now, you know, her mama was making her sick. The truth is she knew about her microdeletion. She even told her neighbor, Aaliyah Woodward, or whatever her name is, about her microdeletion. Even tells Aaliyah it's causing all her health issues. She's a fighter, honey, and isn't she? Gypsy Rose knows acting like a child gets her attention. It gets her sympathy. It makes people believe her story more. And she knew about that damn microdeletion. Rod knew about it. Dee Dee told Rod about the microdeletion. And they denied the shit out of it until content creators bombarded them with it until Gypsy came out and was like, I got tested again. It's been in your medical record since 2011. Gypsy will tell people, well, my mama used my microdeletion as a blueprint. The first fucking case wasn't even documented till 2008, Gypsy Rose. There was no blueprint for your mother to go on. And yours wasn't diagnosed till 2011, so there was no way for Dee Dee to line them symptoms up. Hey, you know what it is. This is all alleged. Entertainment purposes only, in my opinion. And the rest, I got this shit from
Brett is with Ken at his house, and this is the first time that Ken has ever looked after Aurora, or Aurora spent time with just him, and I'm not around. So I think he's doing very good. And
this is a good point. So it looks like Gypsy says that Aurora was with Ken the weekend of Father's Day, which is so bizarre. Wouldn't Gypsy want to be with Ken on his first Father's Day? I don't know, something's weird. Then she was mowing the lawn at her parents' house. I don't know, everything's like in chaos, but can't put my finger on it. But yeah, looks like she did admit that Aurora's with Ken for the first time during Father's Day. So bizarre. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. What do you guys think?
I feel like Gypsy Rose is falling off the grid and she's crashing the fuck out about it. And I mean that by trying to make herself relevant in every way possible. We are not forgetting what she did. We are not forgetting the crime scene photos. We are not forgetting the documentaries, the TV show. We're not forgetting about you, Jip. Just stop. However, I do wish I could forget that nasty ass video I saw of her and Ken on Father's Day. And it's so funny because everybody is like, look at Ken's reaction. But Ryan would have never, Gypsy. He would have appreciated that video. What's even crazier about the shit is she goes through and deletes any negative comments. I don't know if she deletes them, she filters. She makes it to where nobody can say nothing. Baby, why? Own what you did. You've done served your time. Like, homeboy's still in there serving his time. If I'm being honest, it just weirds me out. Like, I understand she did what she did. If it was even for those reasons, whatever. But like, girl, you show no remorse. No remorse at all. Just straight up profit.
Maybe having her take accountability for it.
And stop bullying us or building our hopes.
Lucky. You know, you could bring a horse to water, as they say. She'll do it on, like I said, she will do it on her own time. Gypsy.
I hope people don't get hurt.
I don't think people are going to
when
get
there's
hurt.
people around her, and I'm trying to be respectful with this, Christy, but you're enabling her behaviors.
You haven't been paid at all for your time on the show?
We gave the money to Gypsy. Why?
But I thought she couldn't make money off the shredder of...
You guys would have...
We don't have to send a Samlo.
And the one biggest thing that I have with this is that she does not identify herself as a murderer when she was the one who put the weapon in Nick's hand. And I say that respectfully.
It's not that she doesn't want to. She knows. She knows what she did, but she don't want to have to get it thrown in her face every day.
Why is she on TV?
She knows what she did, but she can't take accountability for it, Christy. That makes no sense. She's never taken that.
I mean, she's taken a lot of accountability for things she did.
You know, she has not taken accountability when it comes to Nick. You cannot say that she has not taken
confided in me about a lot of things, and that's between her and I. And when she's going to be ready to share it, she will. I'm not going to force her to
the best thing for Aurora and the best.
You just said the word she has to take accountability, and she has never. But hold on, wait.
But I'm not talking about like the Nick thing. I'm talking about
Christy. This whole thing is because of Nick. She used and abused an autistic man. She needs to take accountability for it, and I promise you.
She doesn't need to take accountability.
Christy,
you gotta be kidding me. So let me get this straight. You made victims. You shouldn't have been released from prison until you took full accountability for your crime and understood the people that you harmed. Post-release, demonizing, villainizing, throwing shade, being hateful, reposting videos that say that you butchered your mom because it says you're hot in it, and I will never stop screaming that, is not someone who is remorseful. And to sit there and say that she doesn't have to, oh, well, the Nick thing, and skip over that. He's gonna live the rest of his life in prison for her manipulating him and taking advantage of him on the internet. And she wants to paint him as a demon, a villain. To sit there and say she'll take accountability when she's ready. When she's ready should have been before she was released from prison. That is the point of sending her to prison. When your child gets in trouble and you give them a punishment to redirect behavior, what are they supposed to learn from it? Changed behavior. That's what the parole board is for, Christy. To make sure that they understand the weight of what they have done. So it's not when she's ready. And then you say she doesn't owe the public anything. You know what I mean? She's confided in only you about things, and that's all that matters. That's all great and well. I'm glad that she's confided in you. But when you are profiting, when you are making money, when you are selling a book of lies, when you are putting yourself in the public eye to win affection so that way you can make money on your story, then you better dang sure know that we expect her to take full accountability for her actions. And that is what everybody is so upset about. I don't know how you don't get that.
And you said the son of Sam law doesn't apply. I think that was so funny that you brought that up. Almost like you know it should. There were some people in that live that definitely held your feet to the fire and asked you some questions and told you the truth. But you are just as much of a problem and a liar as Gypsy Rose Blanchard. You were telling a story about how Mia was 10 years old when Gypsy was telling her an inappropriate story about her boyfriend and confiding in her about, well, dadgum, I guess if they were that close at 18 years old and her being 10 or whatever age, 13, who freaking knows? I don't know the age gap between Mia and Gypsy. But I do know that if she was close enough to confide in her sister about boys, she had a chance to tell her sister what was going on in her life. But she didn't. The truth of the matter is, Gypsy knew what they were doing. She knew they were grifting, and abuse was not the reason why she unalived her own mother. You're not someone to be fawned over, Christy. You are just as much a piece of the puzzle. Just as much villainizing and putting down and demonizing Dee Dee every chance you get. You're an enabler, and you're part of the problem. And I don't believe a word that you said. In fact, you probably did more damage for Gypsy in that live than you did any good. Because you just confirmed all the things that we think and know were true. But who cares? You also kind of threw her under the bus many times to try to paint yourself in a better light, which I thought was funny. You are just as messy, and I ain't got no respect for you. Don't take what she said in that live for gold, because that lady loved the drama.
I had a nightmare about my mom, thinking about that house.
These nightmares, that's something that's been going on through prison and again post-release.
Oh yeah. Nightmares I've had since my crime. It was my choice to commit this crime.
Rose may have really had leukemia, and we may be calling Dee Dee a liar and a scammer for no reason. This is for her Gypsy Rose trip. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Watch this. Yes, abnormalities of chromosome 1q2 1.1, which include that region, are linked to lymphoblastic leukemia. She was supposedly diagnosed with leukemia before she ever left Louisiana. Her fucking Make-A-Wish trip when she was still in Louisiana. I said months ago that I thought them claiming she had leukemia was directly related to the Make-A-Wish thing, and I still believe that. Only now I'm starting to think maybe she really did have fucking leukemia. I know for a fact that Rod and Christy were seeing Gypsy up until 2005 when Katrina hit. This is a letter that Christy Blanchard wrote to Francie Maselli. I'm not going to go over everything. You can zoom in. She talks about in great length they had family outings, how they end up losing contact when Katrina happens, how Dee Dee and Gypsy were on a bus but didn't know where they were going because they were evacuated, how once they got in contact with Dee Dee, she let them know they were in Aurora, Missouri, and that they probably were not coming back. Then Christy says her and Rod always made a plan to go see them, but just never made it. In 10 fucking years, you couldn't make a plan and make it to see your other daughter? I'm in Nebraska. I go all the way to Mississippi and see my brother. It's a 13 fucking hour drive, but I make it, and it's my brother. Now, let's talk about the symptom of this lymphoblastic leukemia. Fatigue, pale skin, fever, easily bruising, bleeding, bone pain, and enlarged lymph nodes. Wouldn't it be crazy if we've been saying she didn't have chemotherapy? She did. That'd be fucked up. I believe Fancy Maselli also said that leukemia is mentioned in her earlier medical records from Louisiana. I have to get a hold of Fancy, tag her, tell her come holla at me, girl. But would that not be fucking crazy? The bruising on her hands from her mother's murder, that everybody's like, she beat her mama. If it's just something to do with her microdeletion. Or what if she really did have some form of leukemia? And we're just over here calling Dee Dee a liar, a scammer, a con artist. Don't get me wrong, I wholeheartedly believe she was scamming and conning. But I'm starting to wonder, like, was the cancer one a con? Which brings me to my next question. She was claiming to have leukemia in Louisiana. Rod and Christy were having normal visits with her with Dylan and Mia. So they didn't go to like any of her treatments. She stayed at the Ronald McDonald house. Y'all didn't go to any of that shit? Or y'all fucking knew that something was crazy, but they was getting money and places to stay and you didn't say so something, it's not lining up for me. Also, Also, Gypsy's hair had been cut off way before she ever left Louisiana. So, Rod, what the fuck really going on, sir? Either Christy and Rod knew what was up. Gypsy was really fucking sick with leukemia. They're dumber than a box of fucking rocks. That's just all there is to it. Hey, and this is all alleged, entertainment purposes only. Your girl been doing some digging. And the rest, well, I got that shit from the Blanchards.
I had bifocals when I was like 14.
14 with bifocals.
Yeah, I'm also 32 with dentures. So. I'm an old lady. My teeth is something that I've always been really insecure about. The hospital gave me free dentures because chemotherapy and treatments like that will rot your teeth. I think I have 16 teeth left, and they're all caps, but underneath, like the cap, they shaved down the tooth, put the cap on with cement. So the teeth that I have remaining are no.
First off, she did not have chemotherapy. It is not easy to get chemotherapy. You can't just go in and say, oh, she had cancer. No, they run all kind of blood tests so that you get a specific kind of chemotherapy that goes for whatever cancer you have. Secondly, look at her teeth. Do you see the ones that don't have caps on them? Do you see how they're shaped almost like shark teeth? And even now you see Gypsy's mouth almost like beaked. You know what I'm saying? Even with her new teeth. Why? Because this is a symptom of her microdeletion. If you go look up her microdeletion and like really dig into things about it, symptom of her microdeletion, man. It's pretty shitty. I don't know how I've never seen this clip before. It's pretty shitty that you would say something like this knowing you never had chemotherapy. And as far as your bifocals, if it wasn't for the surgeries you had on your eye, you'd probably be blind right now. You had like a severe case of strabismus. I hope I said that right because somebody got me the last eye. Those damn surgeries are the reason you're able to walk around today and see, honey. So being like, I had bifocals at 14. That was your microdeletion. Yeah. Friends, y'all know what it is. This is all alleged, entertainment purposes only, my opinion. And the rest, she said that dumb shit. Gypsy Rose's mother's ashes were not flushed down the toilet. Why do y'all believe this shit? Claudia, her sister, has her ashes. By the way, I got this off Go to John's support page. They have some great stuff over there. Go follow them. Her cremated remains at the post office. Her sister getting her urn. Her sister showing Dee Dee's urn. The other box Dee Dee's ashes can go in. The close-up of that box. Y'all stay believing her damn documentaries, but I've already showed y'all documentation about documentaries do not have to be true. And as a matter of fact, they are made to create bias. Look that shit up. They don't have to be factual. And 90% of them are based off whatever the producer feels is the fucking truth. But this is how I know y'all have no idea what Gypsy is about. Because y'all just repeat whatever bullshit has been spewed on her documentaries. Right after this was said, her grandfather was also accused of SAing her. Just out the blue. But Gypsy claims in the past her grandfather was her best fucking friend. They hung out together all the damn time. And what's crazy is he talks about in her documentary how she'd stop breathing in her sleep. How him and Dee Dee would have to go wake her the fuck up to get her to start breathing again. And so the machine would quit going off. So is that fake? Was Gypsy faking that? How was Dee Dee asleep making it happen? It's odd to listen to a murderer and don't do any kind of fact searching on your own. Just believing a murderer who planned her mother's murder for 4 years. From 2011 when she pew-pewed her own mother and chased her with a dagger. By the way, you can see the pew-pew marks in the crime scene photo, marked with little orange things. They go from Gypsy's fucking room all the way down the hallway. She chased her mother with a pew-pew trying to unalive her in 2011. And there's a picture of the Chinese dagger, too, she went after her mother with. But yeah, she was just a victim who couldn't do nothing unless it was going to see a man she wanted to sleep with. Then, baby, she'd take a 3-ring binder with her and try to do the damn thing, okay? She'd also steal her mama's pain pills and $1,000 for a man. But, baby, she could not do anything to get away from her mother. Y'all show right, show right.
And he said, well, you know, if you can't kill her, who's going to do it? And I said, could you?
I was really shocked. She said, if you truly love me, you'd be willing to do this for me because you know this is the only way we can be together. And at some point, I ended up giving in because I didn't know what else to do. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her. There's truly nothing I wouldn't do.
He said that he was very good with knives, and I said I wanted it to be painless. I didn't want her to suffer because she stole my mother. We thought that we would never get caught. I felt like this is a fairy tale and I was going to princess that gets rescued. And then I'd be...
I was just watching Gypsy's latest vlog that she posted on YouTube. It was a vlog of them going to the mall to shop. It was fine. Nothing much to report on there, except for Gypsy and Ken acted like they liked each other that day, so that's good. But other than that, it was just a shopping vlog at the mall. And when she got back, at the end of the vlog, she did like the haul of the stuff that she got. So she was, you know, at the end of the video, she was showing all the stuff that she got and pulling stuff out and showing it. And then she moved out of the frame to grab something. And there was a shelf behind her right here. So I zoomed in. I was like, oh, you, me, and the dog. Let me zoom in. I want to see this picture of Gypsy, Ken, and Parker. Who are they? Like, it was just alarming because I thought it was going to be them. And it was just these random people. But I mean, I guess it could be someone they know. I don't know why I would say you, me, and the dog. Maybe it was just the picture that was in there when they bought the frame and they just never put a picture in there. I don't know. But I was like, let me see this picture. And it was just these random people.
Forgive me if I'm really dumb, but I was watching a video of Gypsy Rose one day and she mentioned her parents and I didn't think twice about it. Like, literally didn't think twice. Then the day I'm scrolling and she's like, I just cut my parents' grass. Okay, I'm sorry about that. She said I just cut my parents' grass. Whatever. And I'm like, you just cut your parents' grass? You just cut your parents' grass? Didn't you just get out of jail because of what happened with your MOM? Like, I don't want to sound, like, judgmental because I don't judge Gypsy Rose. I actually like her, but anyways, I'm just confused. Like, where did your parents come along? Where did your parents come along? For some reason, I'm thinking like you just got out of jail like 2 years ago because you just resurfaced and got all this popularity. So I'm just like, well, when did your parents come along? And
how many siblings do you have? I have a lot. I have 6. I'm one of 7.
And I have 2 half sisters and I have a half brother. And I'm the next to the oldest. So I think that...
Thank you, V, for the galaxy.
Hey, thank you for that galaxy. So it goes my sister Nicolette. No, it goes me because I think I'm the oldest by a few months. But then Nicolette is the second oldest because we're the same age, but just by a few months. Then it goes Dylan and me.
Gypsy Rose, you in this Rapunzel post is weird to me. You said that your mom infantilized you. She made you wear diapers. She made you use sippy cups and bottles. She made you act like a kid. She made you stay in a wheelchair and dress up like a damn princess. Here you are, 35 years of age, talking about Rapunzel was your inspo. Not some damn strong fucking woman. It's an adult that's a real person, but a Disney princess. Why does this sound familiar? Maybe because you spent years dressing up as a Disney princess, you know, before y'all unalived your mom. So it is odd fucking behavior when I see, like, oh, am I hearing Disney princess? If my mom kept me dressed up as a Disney princess, then the guy I started dating made me do weird BDSM stuff that I didn't want to do. There is no fucking way when I got out of prison and I was trying to put things behind me that I would be doing anything related to princesses. I'm just gonna tell you. But then again, if I had a bunch of unnecessary surgeries and medical schmabuse, I wouldn't have got out and immediately had a nose job either. I would have had to have some real fucking therapy for that. These things, that shit, I be trying not to say nothing about these kind of posts, but that shit comes off as questionable to me. You're 35 and made fun of Nick when he was 26 for having wrestling sheets. But you're 35, and hell, if you want to use the post acting like, well, you know, I relate to Rapunzel because that's who you like, y'all relate, it's not an issue because it's you. But this is just all my opinion. Alleged, entertainment purposes only. I got all this shit because
You do this to me.
Came in and killed.
Have y'all heard about Gypsy Rose?
Yes!
I'm so excited for her to get out.
Yes,
I love her. When she was born, her mom was like, I want some money. I'm going to make my kid sick. Well, act like she's sick. She put her in a wheelchair, strolled her around, got a bunch of money from it, all this crap. And then finally, Gypsy was like, I'm not sick. I'm going to get a boyfriend. She found a boyfriend. They're like, let's kill the mom, because her mom was like, I don't want this guy to find out that my daughter's actually not sick. So then the boyfriend was like, well, let's just kill your mom so we can be together for the rest of our lives. I don't think they are together, so I don't know.
No, he actually went to prison for a long time. He's the one who came in and killed the mom.
Gypsy and her mom had such a good relationship. Like, she thought that she was her best friend, and they lived in this nice pink house.
Anyway, she's been in jail, and now she's getting out
for 10 years. I'm excited for her to get out, but I don't think she's okay still. Her family's been like, yeah, she's a little iffy, but I'm excited.
A little girl who had acid reflux so bad she had to have a feeding tube. A little girl who really did have sleep apnea and asthma, chronic ear infections, and tubes placed in her ears not once but twice before 15. Executive producers making you believe that this right here, an albuterol treatment for asthma, is medical abuse. Or this breathing treatment with albuterol was medical abuse. A muscle biopsy is a test. A feeding tube scar and 2 glands submandibular removed in her neck. And if you didn't see my previous video that I have done about that, showing her medical records, she failed therapy, physical therapy, oral medication, and Botox injections. 4 things before they moved to remove only 2 glands to prevent her hypersalivation, especially with Medicaid. It was not Oragel in the mouth. We went to the doctor and boom, the doctor just suddenly scheduled a surgery and took out my glands. The same way that Gypsy Rose had dental rehab, not once, but twice. And they didn't just remove all of her teeth. They saved 15 of them. But the same executive producers and Gypsy Rose herself who wants people to believe that this sleep study was medical abuse, committing egregious defamation of doctors and dentists by saying this was malpractice, publishing said defamation on TikTok and other social medias, as well as national television through mainstream media. But there is one truth in all of this. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a liar. She is a convicted murderer, and she knew exactly what she was doing. She was participating in the scamming with her mother. And she perjured herself at Nick's trial. And that is a truth she will never say, but that's a truth she took all the way to the bank. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your time. And if you liked my video, please subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and share.